to the summer tour of my cactus collection. So I did a spring tour, however the file was corrupted and no matter what I tried I could not get it to work. So anyways, let's jump in and have a look around and we'll see what's happening. So I've done a little bit of rearranging and I've got some new tables as well because I was running out of space. So we'll start off looking at the Lobivias, and this guy here is a new addition. I can't remember its exact name, but quite a nice looking plant, very dense spines, and there's been flowers all around. The Lobivias have been really rewarding, and for those of you who look at my posts on Facebook, most of the flowers that I post are of Lobivias because they're some of the most striking flowers you can imagine, and the plants have really shown an appreciation for the greenhouse, and I've done a lot of repotting as well. Like these guys here were in these smaller pots here at the start of the season, but now they're in these bigger pots, and the takeoff has just been, growth has just been amazing. But they're all looking really good and plenty of seed. You see lots of seed pods everywhere. I haven't been able to do as much pollinating as I usually do just because of commitments outside of cactus. But this guy here, he's also new, but he's not looking very good. He just seems to always be thirsty, but I'm very hesitant to give him too much water because he has a massive taproot, which generally means things are easier to rot. Looking at this guy here, this is one of the Arachnacantha hybrids. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful pink flowers, and the body is quite interesting as well, and more flowers coming over the back. Lobivias generally like a lot of sun, and they don't mind it quite hot as well. Their natural environment is quite a intense one. So we'll keep looking through and you'll see plenty of flowers throughout and some new additions as well. That guy there, you might have seen him from the Cactus and Succulent Society haul video that I did. He hasn't grown very much, but he's only little, so that's okay. So they're all looking really nice. There's a couple of new grafts that I did. So this guy here is a Nyte. Ooh, I can't remember how to say the last bit of his name, but he's taken off really well and growing nice and quickly. And this one here is it's in the Ariocarpus family, but the mother plant, well the piece that I cut him from, is just here. So as you can see, absolutely tiny little thing, and then you graft it and then all of a sudden it's quite large. So he's looking pretty good. I got this guy here, it's a new addition. I got this from a friend of mine. It's a variegated Lobivia. And this one here is a Rebutia pink champagne and Rebutia cranziana or something like that in there as well. So he's new. A couple of ferrocactus. I don't grow many ferrocactus. I don't find them terribly interesting. And a couple of denmosa as well. I've only got 2 denmosa. They've never flowered, but I really like their form, so I had them since I was very small as well. I've got some Machicana through here, and then I think that's a Gymnocactus, some Ariocarpus as well. Nice little Frailea, which has made a mountain of seed already, and it's got 2 more seed pods. The flowers don't open on those. They're self-fertile, and they'll basically just produce seed quite easily. So it's very sunny today, and it's probably around 24-25 degrees Celsius outside, but in the greenhouse it's got to be at least 32-35 degrees Celsius, which is very hot, but that's okay. Mammillaria are through here. I don't grow many Mammillaria either. I got rid of most of them. This is a new guy here. It's a Copiapoa. Oh, how do you say that one? Carazellan? Carazellensis. There we go. You can see that. Alright, so if you see the video fading in and out, that's because my phone is actually overheating in the greenhouse. It's that hot, so I have to run inside and put it in the fridge. But anywho, so this is where we're at. This little guy here, which is another new addition. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful cactus. I really like Copiapoa as a whole, more so for their form than their flowers, because they have yellow flowers, which is one of my least favourite colours in flowers. So there's the mammillaria. We've got a few more hiding in the back. That's a little sulco there, which is grafted. I'll degraft him soon. He's getting far too tall and unnatural looking. I much prefer the sulcos when they look like this, and this one's seed grown, hard grown as well. I've had this for many years and he's grown very little, but I really, really like the form. It's tight, it's compact, it's low. I just think they look nicer like that. But grafting is good to get them up to size. Looking through on the left hand side, there's some Nyte or Parodia, and then a few mammillaria at the back. And I've got a couple of Sulco Rebusius here. The first, that yellowy or gold one, is Misquensis. That's got nice hot pink flowers, and he had a pup, so I actually took him off and grafted onto some Pachinoi over the back there. The light might be a bit funny because the sun's coming in from a different angle. And then we've got a Sulco Rebusia Hertuzii, which is over there, which also has pink flowers. And this guy is awesome. He's all hairy and no spines, just covered in hair, which I just think is incredible. And then coming down through here, there's a couple of Copiapoa, those two there, which are looking really, really nice. And then another Sulco here, which is one of the Rauschii forms. If the phone will look at it, there we go. Grafted onto some Cereus. Another Sulco here, which is, I think it's Visquensis or something like that. And then even more Sulcos. I actually went out and looked for as many as I could find because I really like them, and I realised that they were lacking in my collection. So I went out and purchased quite a few of them from a friend of mine. Through here, some of the smaller Copiapoa, and they're very good at making seed, as you can see here. I don't know how close I can get. That fruit pod at the top is cracked open, lots of seeds in there, and they're very easy to produce seeds with. And I grew these three from seed, and I didn't know what they were, and a friend of mine came over a couple of days ago and I said, "Oh, do you know what these are?" I said, "I know they're Copiapoa because they're because I've seen their flowers, but I don't know what type." And he says, "Oh yeah, they're tenuissima." And I'm like, "Oh." And then we realised that the reason I didn't recognise them immediately is because most people grow the monstrose form of tenuissima, and this is just the regular version. So I wasn't, it didn't really dawn on me what it was. That's another Copiapoa, which I really like, and just some Arioses through here, which is definitely one of my top favourites of all time. And here's the rest of them. Now, I had a little bit of bad luck or poor technique with these guys. I had them all like this, and for the most part they've grown tremendously well, like this guy here for instance. Beautiful, plump and full looking, and the same as this guy here. I don't really think the video is going to pick up just how pristine this particular plant is, but look, those two are great, and most of them have done quite well. But what actually had happened, I'll just go in here, as you can see in there, that plant is terribly burnt, and there's a few more over the back which I won't be getting out because they're too difficult to get out, but they got very, very badly burnt, and it's not pretty. So I've actually put up this here, which is an afternoon sun blocker, if you will, just to give them a little bit of protection. The Arioses family, as tough as they are, when they're grown in a cultivated form, and that is more generously watered, more food, that sort of thing, they're generally a lot more plump. Like this guy here is a good example of that. And you can see that there's quite a distance between the spines, and what that does is it allows more sunlight in, and they can get burnt easily. If we were to look at these in habitat, I think what would most likely you would find is that they would be more like this. The bodies would be that small that the spines would provide a lot more protection, and grown in a cultivated form, they're not going to have that level of endurance when it comes to that harsh sun. Especially where I am, we have very aggressive sun in Australia. So I just think it was just too much for them, but I've put that up, and then I've also put up all across the roof as well some good shade cover, just to give them a little bit of extra protection. But I put it up way too late. But you know, this will be my first year growing in a greenhouse, so I'm still sort of learning the ropes, if you will. Moving into the Astrophytum now, and these guys seem to be loving the heat. And plenty of flowers, and I've been able to produce a reasonable amount of seeds so far. These guys have finally started growing. I grafted these last season, and they've just actually started taking off now, which is good. So they'll start filling out a lot quicker now that they're starting to grow. The grafts on Hylocereus, they're all growing quite well. And I think in maybe another year or two, it'll be time for them to come off and go onto their own roots. This guy here, I'll actually be degrafting him because he's not growing. Something's happened that I can't see in the union, and he's stopped growing completely, so I'll degraft him. But other than that, they're all, for the most part, loving life. And then just the smaller ones here. So I'm watering the Astros about once a week. Sometimes a little bit more than that, maybe every 5 days, because it's just so incredibly hot, and the greenhouse has been even hotter again. So whatever temperature it is outside, you could easily add another 5 degrees or more. And then in here is some grafts that I've done. So you might have seen that I purchased a lot of cereus seedlings, and also some Trichoceres spacianus seedlings. I had quite a lot of them. And so this is the reason that I got all of them, was to graft all of these offshoots. My original plan was to behead the last season's grafts and put them onto these stock plants, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. But thankfully they produced a large number of pups and offsets, so I sort of thought that was a nice happy medium. This one here is Astrophytum lotus land, and this is the one where I'd said that I'll need to regraft the main plant because it's not growing anymore. This is one of the pups. They're growing quite nicely. These are some onzukas here. They're from last season's grafts. And this one here, which is Astrophytum Kiko variegata, so variegated Kiko. And I've actually got, this is pup number 1. I've got another pup which is currently resting because I just got grafted last week, and still got the main body of the plant. So in through here, a little bit mixed. There's a couple of what are they? Cactus, I think they're called, and some Echinocereus in through here, which are all looking really nice. This guy here was heavily infested with mealybug, if the camera will focus. So I gave him a treatment and then potted him and watered him, and he's coming nice. And you can tell by that really nice pink flush at the top there. There's some more Astros here, and some Cactus, which I love the flowers of Cactus. They're absolutely incredible. Bright, like hot pink purple, just beautiful, love them. And they all have, from the ones I've got, all have that same flower setup. Little Ariocarpus there, and a Cactus there, which has got a big gnarly split. But I got a video coming up about that one there, and how to handle that sort of situation. I got these from a friend of mine. These are Apuntia Caress, they're called, and the reason that they're called that, although hang on one second, I'll have to move a tray. Okay, so the reason that they're called that is, unlike most opuntias which have horrible glochids, these guys don't. So it's very, very soft. There's no prickles at all. So very, very nice, but he's not growing these anymore, so I got them, and I'll use them as grafting stock. Well, I'll give them a go and see what happens, and then go from there. These are the Trichoceros hybrids, which are growing tremendously well. They'll go outside soon. They don't need to be in here much longer. They'll be able to handle living outside. And just some seeds, which isn't terribly interesting. Now the table at the back, we'll actually be skipping over that because that's coming up in another video. Through here's the Gymnocalycium, and they're for the most part looking really, really nice and plump. I'm having some issues with a few, but that's perfectly fine. It happens. Like this guy here, I just cannot for the life of me get him to plump up. But that's all right. It's not the end of the world. And the same with this guy back here. I have a feeling it's just gotten too hot for them. It's been very, very hot in here, but they're looking really nice. Lots of flowers. I'm getting a reasonable amount of seed from them. Some of them I can't get to set, but that's okay. Now, this little guy here, I have seen him at this point in flowering multiple times, but I've never got to see them fully open because of outside commitments. So I've got the next few days off, so I'm going to see it, which I'm really, really looking forward to. But they just look terrific, really plump and healthy and happy. And a couple of new additions in here. So it's Gymnocalycium lianum. I think that's another one of that. And this one here, which I've got, it come labelled as multiflecosum, but I can't find that name anywhere online, so I'm not really sure what it is, but look, it's a nice looking plant regardless. This one here I'm pretty excited about. This is Gymnocalycium ferrarii. I don't have this one in my collection, so I bought seed for it, and then I grafted this guy here, and we're really just now starting to see what he's going to look like when he grows up. And all my Echinopsis through here, which I've been able to get some to set seed, which is nice down here. So once they're ripe, which they take a long, long time, it's been, I feel like, months now that I've been waiting, be able to see if we get some interesting combinations, because I've tried to mix them amongst themselves. Through here I've got some seedlings. Some are doing better than others. These ones here, for instance, these are all from last season. They're growing really nicely, and even down here the Gymnocalycium reductum, they're looking good. That's the ferrarii there in comparison to the one we saw a little while ago, so you can see how much of a difference grafting makes. But then look, there's some that aren't growing as quickly, like these guys here, for various reasons. Too much sun, not enough water, and all sorts of things like that, but they'll come good. They just take a little bit longer. Here are last season's grafts, and they're looking incredibly good. They're really putting on some size now, getting flowers from some, and getting others to produce seed, which is incredibly amazing to think seed to seed in a year. So in the back left there, that's pretty special. That's a Onzuka, and a true Onzuka, which is a really, really nice looking plant. They're growing really nicely, and probably next year I'll look at degrafting them. This guy here is probably my favourite out of every single one of them. Let me see if I can get some better light for him. Nope. No, I'm not having much luck. There we go. So it's variegated Astrophytum, four-sided, quadricostatum, or whatever it's called. Really nice striations of green and variegated colour, so absolutely beautiful. And a few variegates through here of all different types, and that's probably my equal second favourite. Quadricostatum with a full 1/4 variegate, so just one whole panel on one of the 4 quarters, which is nice. And that little guy in there, that there is the mother plant for the Kiko grafts that we looked at a little while ago. Here's the Lophophora. They're doing all right. They don't do anything too quick or anything like that, so they're rather slow growing, but they look nice and healthy and plump. And then I've just got the some mixed grafts along the back actually, but we'll start with the lofts. So I grafted this guy quite a few years ago now, and I keep saying I'm going to degraft him, but he keeps growing, so I don't really bother. He's quite a large plant. On the left there's Ueshi, got Georgiana or whatever it might be called there, with the nice pink flowers, and then some regular Williamsii grafts there. I did 4 and I sold 2, and I kept the 2 ugly ducklings, and they've taken probably a year or so to come good, but they look nice now. And then here I've got Eubulmaniana something or other, pseudo pectinifera, or I don't know. Nice looking plant though. And then there's I can't remember for the life of me what that one is in the middle there, but he's looking nice. And then just some Mammillaria boccasana Fred grafts. I had one plant that I purchased at the Cactus and Succulent Society show, and then I got really paranoid because I couldn't seem to get the body to stay firm, and I was worried about rotting it. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to graft it, and then they grow easily enough from cutting. So once these start putting on some size, then I'll, and I've got some spare, then I'll grow them on their own roots. Some other Lophophora grafts over the back there. I don't know how they're still going, because the stock that they're on is, oh my goodness, like it's seen better days. If you can see that poor little bit of, I think it's Spaciana through there, and they've been on there for years and years, but they still keep growing, so I just leave them be. Nice Cactus Lenninghausii, I think it's called. And just a few little odds and sods over here, some Mammillaria, some Ferrocactus, Lobivia over the back, just all mixed bits there. Some Adeniums. These are only a couple of months old, they're quite young. And then we'll scoot back this way, and I'll show you what's happening with my Lithops. So for those of you who've watched the previous videos, you would know that I became obsessed with Lithops. Although the fascination was quite short-lived. I bought, I don't know, I think there's maybe 20 or so here. I bought all of these guys here, and then I was kind of like, okay, I've got a good sample range of them, so that'll do me. And then I've got this nice clump back here, which is a Terricolor Piercii, a nice little clump. I lost a few Lithops, I think maybe 3 or 4. And I actually think it's because I underwatered them, and so I've changed that, and I'm watering them about every 5 to 6 days, and they're looking wonderful. They look happy, healthy, plump. There's some of them are starting to, if you can see here, not go into a split because they've already all split, but I think they might start flowering, which I'm looking forward to. And then because I wanted to jump in the deep end, I bought a bunch of seed as well. I don't really know if I'm going to be able to capture them because they're so small. You can see a couple in there, some there, and there's a few over here. So I didn't spend a lot on the seed, and I got quite a few different varieties, and there was a lot more, but what actually happened was I underwatered them again, and we had a really hot day, and quite simply they just burnt, and that was it. So now I water these guys every day, but they're looking pretty good. And that's pretty much it for the summer tour. Everything's growing well, really happy. The back table we'll have a look at in another video. Other than that, there's you know, some grafts under there, and over here that's where the seedlings that are out of their bags live, over there. My Paraskiopsis army is all through here. I've got lots and lots of Paraskiopsis. Got a couple of begonias in here that I got from my grandmother. So she gave me that large leaf one, and then these that one there, I got 2 of those from her. So they're quite nice, and that one back there I got from an old family friend. And then back over there is just some production plants. So these ones will be going up for sale probably next year. Mid next year they'll go up for sale. They've still got a little bit of growing to do, but the last lot of plants that I had available for sale all sold out, so they're all gone. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll make some more. So that's what they are, and these will be a little bit different. These will be, most of these are Lobivia, and just a few little odds and sods as well. But yeah, this is the Paraskiopsis army, and then under there we've got just more seedlings that are still in their bags. But that's all from me. I hope you've enjoyed the video and enjoyed seeing what's happening over during summer in Melbourne, Australia, and all the nice flowers that are coming out and everything like that. Alright everyone, thanks for watching, and as always, happy gardening. Bye.